Hi again. A lot of the best stories that I've heard from people involve 22 rifles, and I think I told you in a previous video that I received a whole bunch of requests to review as many 22s as I could. So I went in the vault, looked at my 22s, and I decided today I would go over the Browning or FN Trombone 22, which is an amazing gun. And I have to tell you, I've had more than one. And there are some 22s and rifles or shotguns in general that you buy and somehow you end up making the most spectacular shots with them. And there's no explanation for why some guns just seem to work better in one's hands than others. But this FN Trombone, and it's a pump action, so the meaning of the name or the origin of the name is obvious, is one of those exemplary, and it just seems to want to hit 22s. So here it is. A lot of people have seen these. I guess maybe they're getting a little old now. They were made from about 1922 into the 70s, and of course then discontinued, which was kind of sad. I don't think they were ever officially imported into the US, but lots of them ended up on this side of the pond, and you'll encounter them actually everywhere. It seemed every farmhouse in the UK had one of these at one time, or every barn, and in other countries as well. And the operation is quite simple. The action is released by a lever here in the trigger guard. You just depress that. That opens the action without having to fire it. And one of the fun things about the FN Trombone is this discussion that I've had a few times about how it locks. So you can see the slide moves the tubular magazine, which holds short, long, and long rifle cartridges interchangeably, and you can feed them in here in any sequence, and they'll all cycle and all work. This is one of those minimalist John Browning designs. That minimalist, by that I mean as few parts as possible, which is the equation for success. Simple things, as I've said in many videos, tend to work better and longer than complicated things. Probably applies to personalities too. Anyway, so quite a few times people and I have been discussing the trombone with me, and the concept is they lock by the bolt tipping up. So I don't know, you tell me. I'll try to do it gently. It's locked. So I unlock it, and there it's locked. And I actually never did see a tipping motion to the bolt. It doesn't tip up to lock. If you watch carefully, John Browning just made a terrific little mechanical stunt. This bolt tips out. It actually locks on the side of the action here. Just watch, you'll see it. If you watch carefully, I don't know if the camera picks this up, but it moves out. I'll do it another couple of times. So what's the significance of that? Well, effectively then the slide and this mechanism here is like a carrier, and the carrier slides back first, and then once the carrier is out of the way on this side of the receiver, then the bolt can tip back in and slide out. Other John Browning like tipping locking mechanisms, and they're used a lot, especially early firearms design. So this one tips out to the side and locks, and very straightforward, just a wonderful. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these have tens of thousands of rounds through them, and are fine. The odd time, if you're buying these, you'll see they're cracked here. In fact, looking at the stock, I was kind of suspicious. Maybe it's a replacement stock. If it is, it's a good job. But maybe not. Maybe it's just a refinish. You can see that there's a little bit of wood missing here. Some people sand, and then these surfaces don't meet anymore. But there's no guarantee. There's actually not really a finish on here. A lot of people remove the finish, put oil, but it could be original. Hard to say. Bluing's fine. Oh yeah, and since we've gone over the operation, you can see it's fairly simple. The typical takedown thumb screw. so the whole thing just pulls apart, and there you have it. And you know, whenever I take these guns apart, you see a lot of common ground with guns like the old 94-22. I guess it's not that old. I don't know, can you see? Maybe we can film. This is the action going back, so if you're watching in here, yeah, well, try to spot it. You'll see the bolt go over. It clearly moves to the side, not to the top. Obviously, this is a world-changing revelation, but it's fun talking about this kind of thing in gun circles. So it's clever, that's for sure. And I guess there are other collectible, you know, the Winchester, whatever it is, Model 61, and then the Remington. But somehow, out of all those pump actions, the one I like best is this FN Trombone. And scarce, but you can still find them. And what was I shooting the other day? Remington Speedmaster, I think they call it. Also takes 22 short, long rifle. Fine rifle, aluminum receiver. Everything worked the way it was supposed to. But compared to the FN Trombone, I thought, my goodness, it's a pretty humble firearm, that Remington. But also unstoppable. The fellow was saying like it shoots tens of thousands of rounds as well. This is a steel and walnut gun. I took the magnet and checked everything out. It has a steel butt plate. There's actually some decent contouring on here. But it had to be discontinued in, I guess, 74, something like that. But I thought that's worth sharing with you. I'm sure a lot of you own one, or maybe will own one. And the operation of the tube is nice. It has a push button release. So very simple, brass follower, spring inside. No surprises there. Excellent 22. Very simple, very reliable, and one of those firearms that you wish they had not stopped making, but I guess they did for whatever reason. So that's it, FN Trombone 22. Thanks for watching.